Welcome to The Grind, a podcast about the church planting process and missional strategies to make disciples of all nations. Coming to you from the offices of the Arkansas Baptist State Convention in Little Rock, Arkansas. Now, here are your hosts, Dave McClung and Chad Grigsby.
Welcome, everybody, back to The Grind for our big idea recap on the conversation with Brad Brisco, our buddy. Dave McClung, and with me, as always, is the magnanimous Chad Grigsby.
Dave, what a convo with the co-vo king.
Yeah. It was kind of funny. He's episode 62. He was episode 2 first, then episode 62. So we've done 60 episodes since we interviewed him. That is weird.
And he was long overdue to come back on. Brad's just one of our favorite people. I mean,
he's love that guy.
He's been in Arkansas a lot. Love what he's doing.
Yeah,
very needed.
Yeah,
just awesome time.
Yeah, and stay tuned with him. Some cool stuff coming. The new book that's coming out through NAM is going to be really good. I'm excited about that. It's a co-vocational book, so hopefully getting him back to Arkansas in November for an event. And so we're finalizing some details on that. So with he and Lance Ford, and so that'll be good. And always fun to have him here. And he's just a brilliant guy. And always, every time we talk to him, walk away with something, some nugget, some great thing to think about and chew on. It's so spot on. Very insightful guy. And so we want to talk about one of those today and the big idea. And there's several things we could talk about. Chad's going to write an article about the podcast as well, highlighting benefits of co-vocational church planting. But what we wanted to talk about the big idea recap and make sure everybody grasped and kind of got their hands around was the clear definitions of bi-vocational church planting versus co-vocational church planting. And yeah, it is. They are similar, but there are some distinctions that I think are necessary to make to highlight the need and the benefits of both. Both are good, but are different. And I love we were talking about this earlier. I love the language kind of definition he made, that the word bifurcate, to divide, is that you have two kind of vocational tracks. You have a secular vocation track and a sacred vocation track. And so, the bivocational typically has been, I need to be bivocational to provide financially for my family, but I'm hoping that there's a day coming where I'll leave my secular vocation and just go full time in ministry. And so it is a 2 vocation track with really without any kind of joining or alignment of the two. And then the co-vocation, coming from Latin word common, is aligning both ministry vocation and professional occupation vocation, secular vocation, whatever, as one stream, that you are in the marketplace on mission, and that calling is the same calling as planting a church, that there's no distinction between those. They are aligned together. And so, great conversation around that. And I think we've got to wrestle with that and get clarity on that.
Yeah. I think for the first time I got a real clear distinction in my mind. I kind of had thought bivo and covo were the same, just a little bit of a language difference, just a little nuance. And I think in our conversation with Brad, he really brought up how they're 2 different things, and gave clarity to that. And both are necessary. Both are good. Maybe one is a little bit, covo is where we like to see things go.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that bivo's bad. Bivo's more the temporary, just kind of help offset the costs, help kind of provide some temporary financial stability. But the hope is always full time. I'm a tent maker like Paul. He kind of mentioned that. But you are divided, and it's really like, man, I can't. In fact, I know a lot of guys like, can't wait to quit this job,
Yes.
and it'd be a full-time pastor. But the Covo side is a lot different. It's no, these are equal. We're doing this together. I have a calling in the marketplace that I am not leaving, that is just as strong as my calling to start something.
Yeah.
So it really is not, this is the real work, this is what I have to do. It's no, both of these are the real work.
Right.
I'm giving myself to both of these, hopefully with a group of people. And you said it, man, you summed it up really well. Those in the marketplace have something to offer the church, and those in the church have something to offer the marketplace.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're really getting at a level of intentionality with Covo that maybe is not quite there with Bivo. But yeah, so I thought it brought some real good clarity to the distinction.
Yeah, and I think one of the challenges elevating that marketplace, presence and job, for those of us who've grown up in the church and been in ministry, and if we serve in the ministry, then the goal has always been to be full time. And so we kind of, okay, here's something I have to do over here so I can do ministry. But instead of that, saying, hey, here's a vocation that is ministry. It's giving me access to people I would not have access otherwise. It's giving me financial benefits I would not have otherwise.
Yes.
And so once you figure out the rhythm piece in that for balancing vocation, family, ministry, and it's never going to be perfectly balanced, but getting in some kind of rhythm that works, for you, man, that is an instantly accessible mission field that you would not have if you were full time. And so there needs to be an elevation of that, particularly in church planting. We're trying to engage people that don't know Jesus and disciple them.
Yeah. Whereas Bivo mindset might sometimes be, my job is hindering my ministry.
Yes.
Covo would say my job enhancing, enabling, funding.
Yeah.
It's Bivo. It has a little bit more of that kind of, not negative connotation.
Yeah.
But, the Covo is much more proactive.
Yes.
Drops that secular sacred divide. A lot more than a Bivo approach. So yeah,
absolutely. Well, I think back to some of our conversations with our buddy Andy Whitten, down in El Dorado, at his employment and second chance, opportunity for most guys who've been incarcerated. And every time I talk to Andy, tell me a new story. Well, here's what happened at lunch today. And he has gotten to the point where he cannot see himself not working in that place, because every day he gets to have conversations with guys about the gospel he would never have otherwise. There's just no access to those guys, and no proximity for them naturally to have these conversations. And it has really elevated that vocation in his eyes to, this is my mission, this is my life. And so just, if we can ever get there, I think that's going to be incredible, and could spark an amazing movement within the church. Seeing our school teachers and bankers and business owners sitting in our pews on Sunday and realizing that those vocational avenues they have are opportunities for mission that maybe they've never seen before. So that they have just as high a calling as that guy standing in the pulpit preaching. And so great conversation. We could talk days about this.
And for those of you big idea only people, just do yourself a favor.
Yes.
And listen to the podcast. Go back to episode 2 and hit up Brad. Listen to Brad anywhere you can listen to Brad.
Yeah.
There's so much in that podcast, both of them, that are so good. And then hug a Bivo or Covo planter today.
Yes, and I tell you, more and more, most of our guys are Bivo, Covo, And we love you guys, and God's doing amazing things in you and through you and with you, and we'll continue to expand that, I know. And so blessings to you. All right, we'll see you guys next week on The Grind. Thanks for joining us.
Keep grinding.